hello. I have returned. Did I mean to start that fast? No, but I have anyway. So here we are. I have begun again for the second time. It probably won't happen again, I hope. We can always only kind of hope. What the fuck? Okay, that's what I wanted. That I wanted. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. I'm back. That. Oh shit. Oh, fucking bullshit. I didn't change the thing. I. Mm, yeah, no, I got here, I immediately begun. Like, instantaneously. Yeah. 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 I think that's good, probably. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. I don't know what any of those mean. That's a problem. It's a problem that I'm not gonna go for though. Ah um tries. Wait, if it's going every, give me a sec. I need to look something up. Um, uh, boom. I can spell. I promise. 90 seconds. Okay, not a lot of time. Um. Okay. The 30, 45, 45. Okay. Anyway, yeah. How are we? How are people doing? The fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Allah is the crumbles cookie. We should always be prepared for the crumbles to cook. Hello, Valk. I am doing nothing to entertain me. What do you think I'm here for? I'm here to be entertaining. I think. That's what I've been told at least. Apparently that's what I'm here for. Ooh, what if I text bold? Huh? What if I make the text bold? Size. Size is what I'm here for. There we go. 16 and you're, well, 15. Just have a nice even number, you know? Who doesn't like a good even number? Now, has that, um, it's fucking disappeared. Okay. Good to, I guess. I suppose. Um, why, why are you, refresh? Okay, that should be enough. Um, it might work next time. That can be closed. What's that? It's that, okay. Saline solution. Oh yeah, saline But yeah, okay. Today we're doing what are we doing? We're doing Minecraft. Fuck, didn't mean to close that. It's fine though. We're doing Minecraft. We're doing modpack again. It's called Blightfall. If you haven't been here for any of the last times we've done it, it's very fun. I enjoy it. Um, it's mainly Thaumcraft and Thaumcraft, and you know a little bit of Thaumcraft. It's no, but genuinely Thaumcraft, Thaumcraft, the Tinker's Construct. Um, fucking, it's got Botanica and Pam's Harvestcraft in there. It's fun. It's fun. All the fun shit mixed into one thing. Um, but yeah, it's preset world. You get to try and man, I don't know Minecraft mods. These are just words for me. Okay, so it's magic, a little bit more magic, some plants, uh smithing and food. But I'm here for Minecraft and not for the Minecraft. You know what? Good. Good. I am. If I can make people that don't want to watch a thing purely because it's me that's doing the thing, then I am all for it. How does that? It looks fine. Anyway, alas, I need to open TechTech. But yeah, eh, it's fun. I like it. I don't actually remember what we were doing last time. We were doing something. We were doing something. That I am certain of. Oh, that off, that down, so that nothing explodes. But yeah, I actually have water today. Isn't that fun? Like, goddamn, water in my body. This is. It'll show up eventually. There we go. Is water hard to come by? No. No, it isn't hard to come by. I just don't ingest it very often. Not in its purest form anyway. Normally it is put into coffee. It's normally in coffee. I like my coffee. I like my coffee a lot. Oh, that is. Yeah, okay. Fine. Oh, I need to change that later. But later, not now. Can't change it now. You water down your coffee? No, I put water in the in the in the in the water go in with the. Give me a minute. I'll think of the word with the um what? What it? I don't remember. Basically, I'm not very healthy. I work at a coffee shop. I know how to make coffee. Trust me. Are you sure? Um, the freeze dried shit. Hot water in freeze dried shit. Boom, coffee. Where did you? There did you? It's back. I feel like I should change the color of the. It's almost. I don't drink freeze dried shit. I do. I prefer efficiency over quality. The more caffeine I can pump into my system, better. You know what? Fastest way to do that? Freeze dried shit. Yeah. Oh, I only drink whole bean. Fair enough. That sounds expensive though. And I don't have the money for that. Oh, okay, my fork's on the floor. Today gets better and better. Where are we? Okay. Just work at Starbucks, it's free. God, I've applied to like every coffee shop near where I live. None of them have even responded to me. Okay, probably not all of them. There's probably one back end one that I've been like, I've never seen you before, so. Why is there no sound? Can you hear the mic? Oh, that's okay. So I've harassed them and they hired me. Fair enough. Manga. Or blah 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 blah. Yeah, we were doing magic stuff last time. Most of it's craft. But do food. What food can we do? Yeah, fair enough. If you get free coffee for it, I don't see why you wouldn't. Not PMA. Um. Um. What can we make with angry pumpkin? Nice. Bread. Also, dough, sugar, bakeware, water, salt, flour. We have dough. We don't have enough dough, but it's fine. Bakeware. Grab some while we are here. Because why not? Well, because mainly because we need it, to make the thing that we're planning to make. You know that thing that yeah. Yep. Yes. Yes. I English so well. 4. We take 2. Hell yeah. Bread. We can make 2. How do you make dough again? What? Salt, milk, or was it what? It was water. It was water. Salt, water, and flour. I do believe. I do believe. You really let me join your world. It is 1 on PC. 2. Is it multi? I don't think it's. I don't know if I can do that as a mobile player. I don't think you can. Unfortunately. As heartbreaking as it is, I do not believe that it is a possibility. Pumpkin cheesecake. Shove a cheesecake onto a pumpkin onto a cheesecake, making my parents buy me a laptop this summer just to put. Aw! Bo! Aw! How do you make dough? No, not what can you make with dough. How do you make dough? Salt, water, mixing bowl. Mixing bowl. Salt, water. Flour. Where's the flour? I know you should have been like, hey, I did really well at this thing. Now, to compensate, Get me a laptop. Mortar and pestle. Is it mortar and pestle or mortar and pestle? I don't know, right? I am unaware. There it is. Oh my god, they reskinned it. That's disgusting. That is. I hate this. Why is there sand in here? Fine. The I don't know. Okay. Okay, good to know. Salt, flour, mixing bowl, water, water. Boom. We can make no more. Dough, pumpkin, sugar, bakeware. Boom. 2 more bread. I think we need just a whole fuck ton of buckets. What can we do with milk to empty? Um. Okay, where do we empty the rest of our inventory to? Here. Why? Because it's easy. Why do I have a rail? Why? Why? No. Oh yeah, this is the fun thing that can happen. You can put down milk. You can pick milk back up. Wait, you're underwater? Yeah. The fun thing about this is basically like a campaign, right? So I shall go. So there's this fun thing. This is technically the ship that you're from. We're not going there because it lags the shit out of everything. But we can go here. This is another starting place that you can start in. I just didn't choose to start in it. It's the easiest of the starting places, mainly because it's one, pretty close to a lot of stuff, and two, pretty close to a lot of stuff. And there's dirt available to you freely. And you get these domes because, oh, this is an uncontaminated space. That purple shit out there, that will kill you if you stand on it for too long. Nice, I know. There will venture outside, sure. Ignore the really shitty door. I don't come here very often. If you meander around for long enough, I don't know why those trees are still okay. Probably because there, boom, blight pig. It will kill you. Yeah, fun, isn't it? Like COVID. I mean, yeah, kind of. But yeah, so the creatures will try to abolish your existence. Not the milk. Not what I wanted to do. Boom, shrub. Creatures? Well, I mean, yeah, it's like the sheep and that pig, for example, will try to kill you. Also, that tendril over there, you may be able to see it. Well, why are you wiggling your head at me? Oh, I thought something else. Yeah, giant tree. Well, there's also a really fun thing. There are quests that you do to get stuff because you can't get a lot of stuff naturally. Or like to tell you where to go. Fun fact, they all of them have kind of names like the black market, the engineer, xenobiologist, colonist, all that fun shit. That right there, the very bottom one that I can barely read, to be completely honest, says the dark one. If you go back to this reputation, mission outlook, superb. Basically, the people that sent you there are delighted. Dark one's impression, curious. What does that mean? I don't know. I I don't know. What can you make with milk though? But I think let me put away my thing and that. Okay. Uh, how long the letter pumpkin? Okay, well, that's fucking boring. Okay, red velvet cake, we can't make it, we don't have roses. Ooh, waffles, very fun. A lot of, dampers, 3 apparently types of dampers. Ice cream, don't have snowballs. Pancakes, don't have a chicken anymore. Cheese, maybe. Cheese again, yogurt, nice. A normal piston, apparently. Fertile soil and chocolate milk. Nice. I guess we go with the cheese. Okay, so where did our 3rd bucket of milk go? We had 3. I know we had 3. There it is. We need. Boom. 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 5 buckets. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Yeah, no, I can see why they oh my god, my creatures are escaping. Just give me the milk back. No! Ah! I spawned that pig in there. And now it's down the hole. No! Come on, little sheepy sheepy. Come on. You know you want to be over here in this tiny pen, which is definitely against guidelines. On in. You know you want to. Look at that, one of you. Okay, now the other as well. Ah, look at you. Look at you go. Okay, there we go. Have a kid for me. Help. Oh, no, you don't get assistant here. Only, why did I get more milk? This is fine. How do you make butter? Heavy cream. Okay, milk in a mixing bowl. Hell yeah, I can do that. How do you make milk butter more? I ignored the end of it. Heavy cream, salt, and saucepan. Fuck. Salt we have. Boom. Butter. Fuck it. We're we're just making a bunch of butter and cheese apparently. That's what we're doing right now. Instead of anything productive, we're making butter and cheese. This is how I exist now. That. Fuck, not 5. 6. There we go. You, and why do they only change some of the fucking of the do with butter? Why did they only change some of the of the textures because they changed butter and they changed the mortar and pestle. Apparently, you can make a lot with butter, seeing as it has frozen my screen. It's not exactly an abundance of things. So fruit, nut, and steak. Nice. Don't have the stuff for that. Don't have the stuff for waffles. Been over this. A grilled soft bread. They're all the same. Okay, that's herb butter. Nice. Do we have any toast? Not. Could have toast though. Could. Really wanted. If we really, really want it, we can have it. Okay. So you're gonna go into the Thaumonomicon. The peck. Petch. Gonna go peck. Oh shit, yeah. Hello. Fucking dare you. Oh, okay, that was a. Okay, so, I know that you can make flesh somehow. I just don't remember how. Uh, that was for her, but I'm pretty sure it's life and something. No, not water and water. Okay, life, like air? No, that did nothing. Nothing. Life and motion? You don't have any motion. What? Oh, that was in death. Okay, I can't read, it's fine. Um, that was for health. Okay, so fire. No. Hmm. I don't know why those are sparkling. I never know why anything's sparkling. Hello. Have you enjoyed being brought into the world? We did not put any of the food back. Ever. Just didn't. We just didn't. You know what? That is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. Okay, so get right back in there. Um. Okay, so we kind of need to go to villages. Which are. Give it a second. Oh yeah, this is the world we're working with, by the way. This is what we got. I thought we could zoom out further. Apparently not. But yeah. So there's a village here. That has villagers in it, which will try to kill me. There's a village here. There aren't villagers in it. It will still try to kill me. I've never been to this one. Don't know. Will probably try to kill me. That one will try to kill me, and so will that one. So basically, we're going to die probably multiple times. That is fine, however. Um, do we? I don't know which places we've been and which we haven't. Okay, have not been to an awful lot. I don't actually remember. Okay, so biodome, um, forest, shrine, swamp. Okay, so we're gonna go to the. Okay, we're gonna grab first. We're going to grab, a boat because without a boat we're fucked either way. Your discovery of wood. Thank you, thank you. I knew I was missing something. Don't you dare. You stay out of that. What? Okay, so all of that can go in there. Apparently neither of them can go in there. Nice. Okay, so you two can go. One, um, that pumpkin bread. Two need at least some of. There, can go there, boom, there. That isn't good. We can also bring that. What we're gonna do is we're going to go to Forest Hill. We're going we're going to make um some an apple first. That is the wrong recipe. It's fine. A-okay. This is perfectly fine. This is acceptable. Boom, jelly. Boom, caramel. Om nom nom. I don't know why I keep saying om nom nom, but I do. So, eh. Put that away. Boom, Forest Hill. Bang. This was the wrong place. This was, yeah, okay. This was boom, bang, marble shrine. This is what it means by marble shrine. It's a shrine made of marble. Now, what we need to do is forest. Where the fuck? Okay, so jungle dark. That direction. Understand. Blah 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 blah. We're gonna. Nothing can be learned from it. Okay, fuck you. We're gonna be doing this just throughout. Just because I haven't looked at a lot of things over here. Yeah, thank you for standing still for me. I sure do appreciate it. Let me investigate the shroom. Yeah, fuck you. Where's your mini? There we go. Okay, bye. Bye bye. Never want to see you again. Nice knowing you. No, it wasn't. Actually, quite horrific knowing you. Thought you shouldn't. Oh my god! Why the fuck is a gun going off? What the fuck was that? It was a dude! It was a dude. Good to know. Always good to know. Delighted to know this fact. The dude can shoot a gun. What the fuck? I'm not hooked on this feeling. I am believing, but I'm in a tree. He is right under me. Oh my god, there are two. What the fuck? I'm contemplating shitting myself. What the fuck is this shit? Why does he have a gun? Quite frankly, it's bullshit. It's bullshit is what it is. I need to go over there. I don't remember. Any night of September. No, okay. We need to go southwest. Southwest. That direction. Need to get lower, but I kind of don't want to. There's a dude with a gun. This is why I don't want to go to America. Many guys with guns. Just too many. No, you see me. What the fuck? Why are you following me? There is a trunk error. This is going swell. I promise I'm not well. I'm in the trees. How can you see me? Okay, how do I get past that without death being done unto me? It would be a little unfortunate. Maybe we can lure the guy into the hole. Oh, nice. Well, we found. Is there a second chunk error, or is that a? I can't tell anymore. That is a sheep. Oh my god, is your man still. This is stalkerish tendencies. He is. He's still on my fucking tail. Weirdo. I'm a minor. Does he know? He knows now. He's been told. I've shouted it from the treetops. Maybe that's how he's finding me. Because I'm screaming that I'm a. Oh, there's another one. I see you. Prick. You also have a gun? Oh no, you are that guy. Prick. Didn't ask for you, eh? Now I'm gonna eat my pumpkin bread. You're an adult and less than 6. Okay. And? That doesn't change the law now. Oh! Prick. Doesn't mean he can hunt me down. What the fuck is that? Scary. Stop breaking the goddamn trees. You not heard of the not the ecosystem. Deserved? Fucking hell. Okay. So, hear me out. If we can run through the murder's village. Where is the guy? Can I hurt the guy from here? No, no I cannot. Can I hurt the guy from here? No, I cannot. Oh, now the guy can get to me though. Oh, you've just got a. You don't have a gun though, so it's fine. Oh, that is a sheep though. Oh, I'm dead. I got killed by a fucking sheep. What? What has my life come to that I got killed by a sheep? What the fuck? What is this? This is blasphemy. A second. Oh my god, wait. Wait. No. Give me more than a second. I've figured out a plan. Not for Minecraft, for the immediate future. Where did that thing go? Where did it go? I do not. Okay. I might have. There did it go. I took it out. So it's what? What the fuck? I don't want to know what it says. Um. Boom, can I just put you in the water? I'm assuming that's what I did last time. I'm assuming because that's what I did last time. It'll probably be fine. It'll probably be grand. Backup, hell yeah. Love a good backup. Oh yeah, I've already fucking ruined this place. Whee! Why are there creep under? Oh, because it's normal ground. Okay. Okay. I believe you. Would. Yeah, fun fact, this is 1.7. Not 1 point. Oh, the soul fray gets longer each time. Fun. Fun, fun, fun. Fun, 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 fun. I don't know where that was going. I'm gonna be completely honest. My body doing something that's not fun. Don't know what it's doing, but I don't like it. So, yeah. Okay. Um. Oh, I did. Okay. So, um. We could go to the lake. We'll go to the lake. Oh shit. Oh shit. Shit. Undie repeatable quest. Okay. Nice. Nice. 100 consumed. The scout 30% complete. Blah 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 blah. Okay. Okay. We get to go back to the jungle. Oh, what if we go to the swamp? What if we go at it from the swamp? Right? Oh, it's nighttime. Nice. Nice. Loving this, might I say. Loving the vibes. Okay, so we go south from here. And then we boat. Then we boat. And we have a good time. 99 bottles of beer. Take one down, sit around. Um uh myself, I assume. Um 98 bottles of beer on the wall. It's really just the song of an alcoholic if there's nobody else in the mode of transportation with. Like imagine doing that on a bike and you're the only person on the bike. Like, you're just gonna be called an alcoholic. Like, damn. That's actually kind of sad. Why are you going? I'm holding S. You know what? I respect it. I respect it for all of its bullshittery, I guess. They're chicken. I hate the chicken. They're so murderous. So incredibly murderous. That little piece of shit. Bitch. We might just be sitting in this boat until daytime. We might. That might. Oh, the zombie's getting killed by the tentacle. Why are you so angry? Oh, you're a furious zombie. Oh, you're not a normal zombie. You're furious. Well, so am I, King. Get over it. We're gonna be here for a minute while I fend off the homophobes, I guess. They can be homophobic. Oh my god. What the fuck did that guy just drop? I want to know. Oh, you got a little close there, buddy. Oh, that's deeper than I thought it would be. Sorry, it's gonna be very dark for a second. Oh my, that's a lot further. Why did a fucking firework just go off? It is the middle of February. Oh, it dropped a brain. Ah, okay. Oh, sorry, it might be dark anyway. Nighttime. I didn't think this through very, much. Couldn't tell. Okay, so I now have a zombie brain. Nice, I guess. Haha. I get jelly, you don't, you sheep-looking motherfucker. Where is the... Okay, we're almost directly in line with it. Okay, that's nice. Okay. We're in line with it, though. Oh my god! Piss off! Where are you even coming from? This is... God, you're so ugly as well. Look at those... Look at that massive, massive forehead. It's not even massive as in, like, height-wise. It's massive as in it's bulging. Oh, you... Okay. Well, fuck you too, oh dark one. Prick. Spawning bastards on... A third! Well, technically a fifth. I can only hit these guys 200 more times. This shite. Oh my god, a third! A sixth! What the fuck is this? Nah. Fuck you. But yes. Yes. I've lured them into the water. I can... It's fine, I don't need a boat to get back. It'll be a... Well, okay, the pig might kill me. The sheep might kill me. This is fine. It's fine. It's all fine. This is going great, I promise. This is going fantastically, just how I wanted it to. This is actually a dream come true. Look at that. Well, that was actually quite sweet. Made getting here very easy. That is a pig, though. That is a pig and a pig chasing me. Literally, not a person with a specific job. Okay, piss off, you piece of shite. Yeah, yeah, fuck you. Um, there we go. Then let me just into the scout. Boom, traveled to the jungle. I do want that in my. We're going home and we're going to sleep. Good to see non-threatening. Uh, okay, so realistic. Well, first of all, okay, we should make more food, right? That is a thing that we should do. We can't make it all into cheese sandwiches, then into toasted cheese, because then it will not work ever again. I learned my lesson from yeah. Can't eat anything too much, otherwise it becomes fucking useless. Basically. Um, put that in there, I guess. Yeah. Other items bomb me on the. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Okay. Well then. Study, study, self. Hey, now we're gonna be doing this for like 3 minutes. Probably more than 3 minutes. What do? Why has it become so laggy? Hmm. Why has it decided to be laggy? I'm not sure I appreciate this. Okay, so we go back to the jungle. We don't have good protection on, that's fine though. Where is the you'll be hearing a lot of this noise by the way. Where it fucking bullshit. Where's the blue? I know it's got to be around. There's the fancy flower that I don't fucking know somewhere or other. Have you? Where have you spotted me from? Somebody's just fucking shot at me. Where? What is this? bullshittery. Oh my god, prick, okay. Piece of shit, good to know. Are you above or below? Well, you're not above me, alright? I'm that smart, right? I'm that smart. Is not saying much. Where the fuck are you? Oh, there you are. Okay, hi. I don't like much. Did you know that? Did you know that? Yes, I assume. Oh, at least. So what we do this really fun thing that's called, sneaking up on them from underground like a mole. We are a mole in our heart. Sorry, it's gonna be fucking dark. I can make it slightly less dark. Boom. That wasn't a lot of sneaking up. Okay. So I misjudged mightily where they would be. Um, it's fine though. We can readjust. We can we can readjust. Yeah, give me your tootsies. Oh, fuck yeah, you go backward. What the fuck just happened? Okay. I can't currently see anything.